Hey, everybody. Wanted to shoot a quick video for you. Today, I wanted to talk about trying to be perfect all the time, at least when it comes to your workouts and then to your nutrition. And so a lot of people think, if they weren't perfect this week, it's like, screw it, I already messed up this week. I'm going to eat whatever I want during the weekend. And then Monday, I'll start fresh again and I'll be perfect. And then, Monday you do good, Tuesday's okay. And then Wednesday, you kind of mess up a few times. And so same thing, you're like, screw it, this week's kind of a wash. Who cares? Maybe I'm traveling. So I'll do whatever I want the rest this week. And then Monday, I'll start over again and try to be perfect. And so two things I want to touch on that. Just because, you have a couple of bad meals, it's not the end of the world as long as the rest of your week does really well. And so the biggest thing I want to talk about is just like being consistent as opposed to being like perfect sometimes and then terrible other times. If you can be 80% consistent on your workouts and your nutrition, you're going to get way better results than somebody who is perfect for 6 weeks. But after those 6 weeks, they go back to their old habits, or because those 6 weeks are over and they feel like they completed, whatever it is that they were doing, they actually overindulge because they ate too perfect. They had too big of restrictions for too long of a time, and your body's really smart and it's going to crave, some of those foods that you went without. And so not to say that you can eat whatever you want consistently and get good results. Obviously, we got to be doing nutrient dense type of foods, consistently tracking our food, and then obviously hitting our workouts. But I was just going to show you guys mine for a second here. So my goal for protein is about 185 grams a day. And most of the time, actually, let's look at this week because it's worse. So like I had one day where I was like 158. This week was day was 168. And honestly, I didn't do very good on my protein. It was like 160. And I had, like a few days that were lower. I had a few days that were better, but overall, I didn't do too hot on like hitting my protein for the day. But honestly, it's not like it messed up my progress. My weight, I'm still down a couple pounds from that week before. And the week after it dropped a little bit as well. And this week where I dropped a little bit, you can just see like I wasn't quite perfect. Like even here, I was mid 180s, but like this day I was 160, next day was 200. So all I really care about for you guys is like, what are we averaging each week? So like overall, like this week, I had a couple of off days, but my average was literally almost spot on. And so I was definitely not perfect. I had some meals that were like way more nutrient dense than other meals. And I had other meals that were very, spot on. And so I do a lot of like rinse and repeat when it comes to eating. I have a few meals that I like to eat. They help me hit my macros pretty effortlessly. And so I just kind of consistently eat those. But I do work in some other stuff that's not as nutrient dense. And so that's the biggest thing is, like I said, if you have a couple of meals where you mess up, messed up your macros for the day, it's not the end of the world. As long as you can get back on track and get these numbers each week to average out, we're okay. And like I said, you're going to get way better results doing consistent for 20 weeks on tracking everything, trying to hit your numbers than 6 weeks of perfection. Because like I said, when you're trying to be perfect all the time, typically you'll fall off the bandwagon once that quote unquote program or time is over. And so we really want this to be like a long-term sustainable lifestyle for you guys. And so hope that helps. Like I said, just, if you're trying to be perfect all the time and then you mess up, typically, most people are just like, well, screw it. This week's ruined. It's a wash. So I'll start over Monday. And honestly, it's not that big of a deal. You can have a bad day and still not make it a bad week. And so, especially with like doing the macro. So hope this helps. If you got anything, questions or anything like that, let me know. Other than that, you guys have a good weekend.